Hello everyone, and welcome to the VE Precast YouTube channel. My name is Chris Romani, and I'm a sales and marketing manager for a large structural precaster in the South. I've been doing this for a couple years now, and one of the things I've noticed is there's no good introductory resources as someone becomes interested in precast. This is what this YouTube series is going to be all about. The first thing we need to do is define precast concrete. Precast concrete can be defined loosely as any concrete member that is formed outside of its final resting position. Well, this works okay for some people. It's not that great for precasters. And the reason why is because there's actually two things that fit this definition. The first is tilt-up. Now, tilt-up is any concrete member that is cast on site and then tilted up into its final resting position. This YouTube series is going to deal with the second type of precast, factory manufactured precast. This type of precast is actually manufactured in a plant and then shipped to the site and erected into its final resting position. Now, this type of precast also has the tightest tolerances and quality controls because it's plant manufactured. So why do people use precast? Well, precast, you can think of it first as a high performance material. This means it's going to do a lot of things well across its lifetime. Now, PCI, or the Precast Concrete Institute, talks about 30 different beneficial uses of precast. Instead of covering all of them here, we can basically break them down into three categories. Their efficiency, versatility, and resiliency. Let's take a look at each one individually. I want to start by talking about efficiency. If there's one thing that people know about precast, it is that it is an efficient product. Now, precast can actually save you time in two different ways. Before construction begins, precast is designed and engineered in a plant. Now, this means that on site the general contractor can be working while the precast is being made. When you compare this to other construction materials, they're going to have to wait till the contractor's done on site with whatever he or she's doing. Now, precast also saves you time during the construction period because since all the pieces were already made, they can be assembled very quickly. Now, precast can also save you money in particular situations, and this is when you can be effective at repeating pieces that are being made. Again, if you can get a precaster involved pretty early, they can help you out with this. To illustrate this, I want to show you the PCI parking comparison guide. Now, this guide takes 1,000-car parking garages and looks at them in precast and cast in place. As you can see in the top row here, you can save about 2 to 4 months of time by using precast concrete as compared to cast in place. Remember again, if this garage is designed efficiently, it can also probably save you money. Now let's talk for a moment about versatility. Precast is a very versatile material, but since we're just touching the highlights here, I want to share what I think is most important, and that's going to be its aesthetic versatility. Long story short, precast can be made into almost anything that you want it to look like. You can add different aggregates, you can add different colors, you can finish it in different ways, and if none of those fit for you, you can add a veneer to it. For example, a brick veneer. So all in all, precast can basically be made to look like however you want it to. Now I want to show you just a couple of examples here. Here are two garages done by a company called East Texas Precast in Houston, Texas. Now, both of these garages have architectural features on them. As you can tell, you don't see plain gray concrete. The concrete has a particular color to it. Now, you can also use this to create unique looks. Now, if you look at the building on the right, hiding around the tree there on the left side, you can see a structural precast that is painted. Now, this is contrasted by the architectural precast at the front of the building, which is a buff color. Finally, I want to spend a couple minutes talking about resiliency. Basically, precast is resistant to pretty much anything you're going to be designing for. Look at the list below. Precast lends itself naturally to fire, mold, seismic, wind, and blast resistances. Fire needs to be codified almost everywhere, and seismic and wind conditions are going to depend on where you're located. So that's it. Basically, you've already completed your Precast 101 course. I look forward to seeing you again on future podcasts. If you have any questions, feedback, you can go ahead and contact me, cjromani@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment below. Thanks again.